So, moving on. We've touched on this a few times on the show, but we've never really gone in depth on Turki Al Sheikh's influence on boxing and the ripple effect. Obviously, him and Canelo are kind of going at it the minute. Personally, I think it's a bit of a pantomime to raise the interest of Canelo fighting on the Riyadh season. I think Canelo will do business with Turki Al Sheikh, if I'm honest with you, down the road. I'm going to come to Orkan. Orkan, you can take this wherever you want to take it in terms of your opinion. Do you think Turki Al Sheikh is good for boxing?
It depends what your thoughts, what you want for boxing. If you want just the biggest card in Riyadh and some in UK and US, like it was in LA and the upcoming Wembley card. If you just want the boxing with the best fight and don't care so much of other fights, I can understand that you are very happy for it. But I see it.
What's your thoughts?
I think it's. I don't like it so much, and I don't like that he has gone out on social media so much in the last week or 2 weeks, and said. I think those should be said in closed doors between Turkey and Canelo and Tank and Tim Chu.
I'll play devil's advocate with you though. Is it just a case that Canelo's used to getting everything his own way, and there's a new power player in the sport of boxing? Hi, Sean.
Hi, guys.
Yeah. Yes, I can see it that way, that Canelo wants to do his way. Yeah, I agree with that. But I don't like that he has been so much on social media against some of the fighters who's not want to sign with him on his terms.
Okay, thank you, Orkan. Daz, coming to you. You've been quite vocal on the female fight inside of the Riyadh season, the lack of it. I'll throw the same question at you. Take it wherever you want to take it. Is Turki Al Sheikh good for boxing?
From women's boxing, no, I think it's awful. For women's boxing. I mean, we've even got Clarissa Shields. I think she's come out and mentioned, put me on a card on Twitter, I believe it were. It's male boxing. Yeah, we're going to see pretty much all the fights that we want to see. I'm not overly convinced either that one person running the show is a good idea. I sort of get a bit of like a feeling like, I mean, I do a lot of reading on boxing, and like back in 30s, 40s, 20s, maybe 50s, boxing was heavily controlled by mafia.
Yeah.
They decided who got shots, who didn't get shots. I sort of get a bit of a feeling that this is sort of similar. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Turki Al Sheikh's in mafia or he's into organised crime. Do you know what I mean? It's just still got
his favourites, though, Daz, hasn't it? He's got his favourites. Right? He's got his favourites, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. And and he's got the ones that that not so much favourites, but he decides what he's deciding what's happening. And I know a lot of people are saying, listen, money does talk, and people will go where the money is, and that's not just at boxing level, that goes right down to, our level. We'd go where the money is in a job. But I don't think on all that it's good. If I don't honestly, I think while we're going to get some cracking fights between males, I think we're going to lose out on some cracking fights, between females. I think the female fighters are going to be scratching around for fights. And listen, let's be honest. We aren't being political. Women aren't classed as equals in that area. Especially, and I've said it before. Gay. I think up until 2 years ago, someone was stoned to death for being gay. You know what I mean? So is he going to put a gay female fighter on a show? I doubt that very much.
So in the chat, Daz, Raw, good evening, Raw. He's asked my next question. But the good news is it probably won't last. Now, do you think he'll have enough of this new toying and maybe give it up eventually?
Mate, possibly. He possibly will. I mean, what's to say that he's not gonna, think, oh yeah, I'll go on to another sport. Listen, I'll be honest, mate, and I'm not going to sit on the fence here, and I'm not going to say, yeah, it's bad for women's boxing and it's bad for male. It's great for male boxing. Got to make a choice, and my choice is this guy being in control of it all is bad for boxing. Period.
Okay, thank you very much, Sean. Welcome back to this hemisphere.
Hey guys, how are you?
All right, you bit of an Australian twang going on there from your time overseas. We'll try and understand you. I'll put subtitles on when I drop it if I can't understand you. Okay.
Much appreciated.
No problem. Good to see you. So, same question for you, fella. So, obviously, Turki Al-Sheikh, good or bad for boxing?
I think it depends what angle you come at it, really. Like Daz was just saying there, to be honest. I mean, in terms of fights that we've cried out for over the years, it's great that we get to see them. But to the detriment of the sport, how will it affect it, really? I think that's the way I see it. And in terms of Turki himself, again, what Daz said, really, I don't think one guy trying to monopolise everything is good, really, because part of boxing and part why we all like it, is because of the competitive. It's the different promoters, it's the different TV networks, it's us having something to talk about, really. I mean, what show was better than what show? So in that regard, just having one guy, I don't necessarily think it's the best thing. I think, it's going to be up to him, really, how long he wants to stay in there. And can he keep all the promoters on side? Yes, he's got the money, but surely there will be, I mean, I know there's talk of Warren joining DAZN as well, so he'll be under the same platform. But surely it's going to only be a matter of time before it goes back to the traditional promoters sort of having their rivalries, not necessarily for networks, but on DAZN, who will get the best slots on DAZN out of Hearn and Warren, It's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds.
Yep, very interesting. So some comments inside. Ra says they'll eventually realise no tourists will go there and they won't get any return on investment. He goes on to say Turkey doesn't actually have much power. He's just a friend of the Crown Prince. And his last comment on this subject, when his expenditure doesn't return anything, eventually the Prince will cut his funding and maybe his head too, allegedly.
And for my side, I think that the level of the UK shows has gone downhill very much. In the match show focuses Riyadh season and US shows. So I think the matchroom schedule this year has been very poor.
Difficult
in my
though, because it's a balancing act, isn't it? Because putting the female fighters to one side for 1 minute, you got a simple choice, because you would never get a fight like Beterbiev versus Bivol, would you, without the Saudis? Let's be honest. So do we take a medicine and accept that them fights will be happening in different territories, and maybe the UK fight cards you might get one a year? That's top draw, a bit like Wembley. Or would you rather it the other way, where the big fights don't get made, as in the marquee fights like Bivol versus Beterbiev, but the cards are slightly better in the UK? I mean, which one do you go for? I don't
know. I like to go to live boxing, and I will never go to Riyadh. Never.
How many times, or kind of we sat there as fight fans saying we're pissed off with the politics? Why is Bivol not fighting Beterbiev? So I don't know. I'm a bit conflicted, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I agree with that. They tried for years to get that fight over the line before Riyadh season joined a year ago. So I agree with that. If you want those big fights and see it on pay-per-view, I can understand people who have that opinion. But I like to go to live events and see boxing live. And so I would take some of the big fights. If those fights will not happen, it will be. I understand all other people who love it, but I would like to have a better UK card to go to watch live.
Do you know my point is, and this is almost proving it? Are you telling me that Warren and Shalom and Sauerlands need this geezer to work together? No. I mean, come on, we're not in school, are we? It's not. Yeah. It's not him saying, "Come on, you've got to get on with so and so."
I'll counter then, Daz. I'll counter you by saying, "Well, why didn't it happen then?"
Mate, money, isn't it? He's obviously chucked an absolute shed load of money at it.
But they do need him then, right?
No, they don't. They could have done this.
Playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, they could have done this. They could have worked together. They could have, come to a compromise. But neither of them wanted to give. None of them wanted to give ground to the other. So basically, I think what Turkey's done is offered them both a shed load of money that they're both happy with. So no one's taking less.
And I think Ben Shalom's going to pick a few quid up as well and say the more
I think so. Do you know what I mean?
I'll just pick some comments up in the side from Raw. Disappointed that the promoters haven't reinvested the money from Riyadh back into the domestic game. That's a fair point.
Good point.
Ideally, we want Riyadh to put on the fights which are super high quality, but with no mass casual appeal, like Beterbiev versus Bivol. The entire sport loses money generally. That's a fair point as well, isn't it, Daz? Having a look at the business side of it.
Yeah.